UTAG. You see, very powerful. And RSA, we have made ourselves. And if something happens, I'm sure you all come to DG. There are certain times things happen in Kumasi, land issues, and they will call DG. I should come. So I will have, and then I will have to come and organize. It's as if the DG, you are the, what is it? I am known for militancy. But DG is the last person to be involved in what? These issues. Please, I am sharing my, it's a passion, I'm sharing my heart with you. Please lead. I hope you understand. We need to take the leadership of CSIR. And you know, RSA, you say you don't want a DG. Nobody can bring a DG. If today you say you don't want me, I will have to pack my things and move. Yes, it's like the university. If the UTAG say they don't want you, the vice chancellor, the vice chancellor can stay. No. Union. So I was treating union differently. So you see, when Bequim was this thing, I will tell him he's my boss. Not that I wouldn't, when I say no, it is no. But I needed to give them the respect that is due to that position. So please, I am saying this because I will not have that opportunity to address all of you. There might be a new, or there will be a new, God willing, AGM and new DG. Let us give him all the support that we need to get. It has had to go, I had to go to the minister, and the minister wrote to the chief of staff to give us the permission even to advertise. Because in the university, Slavon, for example, they have not appointed a vice chancellor because it's in court. The procedure is hello. And that is why a lot of people did not understand the positions I took. Someone will have, let's say, 2 days to submission of a promotion. He would have put it in 6 months later. I would say withdraw. The person has to read it and rewrite, submit. And people say they don't understand. Oh, I'm going to more than sorry to use the local because it's just 2 days. But the fact is that 2 days is it different from 1 month? Hello?
Hi.
Is it different?
Yes.
Yes. So then 1 month and 6 months, is it different?
Yes.
So when you allow 1 month, when you allow 2 days, you have to allow 1 week. Then you allow 2 weeks. Then you allow a month. Before you are aware, you'll be allowing what? 6 months and a year. So let us all, and one of the things that I did, there were 2 things that I set myself to do. One was to uphold the conditions of service. So anybody would know that whatever was in the conditions of service was applicable. If you spend 10 years without promotion, you have to be prepared to exit. That is in the condition of service. Why put things in the condition of service when you cannot implement it? Hello? So let us create values. And once we have created the values, let us uphold those values. Because when we give way, and most of the challenges that are coming from directors. They are under favor. That is it. Directors will one day favor one person, the next day will want to implement. And so what we do at the head office is to ensure that there is some standards, fairness, and a level playing field. And therefore, they will come in and tell you, as for me, I would have promoted you, but the DG says no. Yes, the DG should say no. So I want us to know the value that CSIR, we have some values and that we will uphold those values. No cutting of corners, and that is what I stand for. And if by that, when you see me, you will not, I am not worried. I hope you understand, because we need to do that. But having said that, it has been an excellent period being a DG. I was a director before being a DG. Dean, I'm not saying, but a director's position is more, it's more enjoyable. Very little stress compared to, no, it's not a question of the institute. You'll be on your way, like last week. You'll be on your way, and the top this thing will call you for CSI lunch. I mean, hello. The director will never have that problem. It's only now salary is not there. It's only getting money. But in the DG, you're always under stress. Some form of what? Stress. But it's really a respectable position. That's all that is in. So if you think that I drive that car, but come 12 February, I leave that car, I leave that house, I leave everything. I hope you understand. But the good thing is, please, let us all work together. Because after all, we are all in CSIR. One of the things I'm not worried, you can do that to me. But there are a lot of times directors, recently, sorry, let me mention, the director ended his listing on Friday. On Saturday, he went to the office with his car, and a group of people stopped him and said, Friday is why are you even going to the office? Why are you using the car? But that Friday, when we were there, the way everybody was clapping, giving gifts, then there is a hail him when you leave. So I know that when I leave, there are a number of people, when you see me, you will squeeze your. But I'm giving you a forewarning that I am not worried. Hello? But I am privileged to have served as a Director General. That is something that I will cherish for the rest of my life. It is an achievement. Let us all work together and ensure that we raise CSR to the pedestal that we go on. Thank you.
Thank you, DG, for those comments. At this point, I would like to invite colleagues together with those on Zoom. If you have any burning question you would want to ask, if you want to seek clarification, this is the time. Dr. Klein will take a number of them, and then
what's the
please, let's make sure that the Director of Finance has
quality?
We're just trying to predict what I'm but I won't ask. Yeah, I want to use this opportunity to also thank the DG for his advice. It's a pleasure that his advice has united and also to fight for what is due us. But over the years, RSA members have quarreled because of examination. People always come to me and say, Dr. Klein, I want to support the cause that people are doing, but I'm afraid. So, he says that let's fight together and win together. When you fight together, you win. Today it might not be you, because my brother, maybe the salary that you complain, somebody wants it. So maybe you want to bring your child to CSR to come and work. So let's develop something for them. My question goes to Director of Finance. Director of Finance, please, foreign members, all of a sudden you will find Provident Fund deduction on our payroll. It's been going on. We've been complaining. Then you accept, yeah, it's a mistake, we will withdraw 5 months. Even a driver, you'll find it. You complain, the money will come 1 year later. Now the economy is hard. Director of Finance, please, any complaint that comes for wrongful deduction, I believe you should work on it very well as soon as possible so that they can receive their money. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ibrahim.
I'm Joshua from Hope. And my question also goes to Director of Finance. I think beginning of this year, there was a notice that the problem found if you want the percentage will be reduced from 50% to 10%. And some of us, we applied. But up to now, we've not heard from your end. Thank you.
Thank you. Please, is it Laurentia?
Thank you. I'm Laurentia, the question from Consia. It's my concern, mine is a concern. When we were coming this afternoon, and we got to a junction, we only saw Agra signboard. And then we moved and came in, and we saw CCST. No CSR. In any of the signboards that we saw. We were fortunate the driver knew here. Like, we wouldn't know where to pass to get to see the CSR. So I'm pleading that our signboards should be visible more so that people will know CSR.
Thank you. Can we have 2 more? Can we have 2 more? Please.
Thank you. My name is Papa Kohana. I'm with Professor Lee. I don't know, but I think you'll go more to the Director General. For the principal technologist, I think for some 4 years back, we heard of the fact that we're being converted to assistant research scientists so that we could also enjoy the 114 something on our page. And then we heard there was in court and all those issues, but no update has been provided on that. And so I want to know the level at which that negotiation is. Thank you.
Thank you. Please, can we have 1? Yes, Razak.
Thank you very much. Yes. I have one is an appreciation, the other is a question. I just want to thank the Director General very much. When he assumed office, I think about a week or 2, I came to Accra with my wife for an operation. This one I think I need to let the Director General himself know. I was telling John this morning that I don't have to wait until somebody dies and then I'll go and be telling lies over the body. The person should be alive. If it is wrong, he say it. If it is right, he say it. This is a great appreciation I want to express to the Director General. He asked me what I was doing in Accra. I told him this was the situation. He didn't just goodbye me and wish me well. He pulled his legs and gave me some money. It doesn't matter how much of the money. The Director General cannot remember this story, but this will never die in my mind and in the mind of my wife. If she were here, she would have liked to appreciate and say it herself. When I got to the hospital and gave the money to her, I told her, this is what my Director General said I should do. She couldn't believe that. So, Director General, I appreciate it. Thank you. DG, you are exited. Is it your role or a responsibility to somebody, command or directors or your staff, to step in when you step out?
So at this time, we'll ask DG and his team to start answering the questions, please.
Since you said this is a time with the finance
Thank you. The first question was on foreign provident fund. We are aware of the challenges that they are having in respect of the deductions. And largely, it is a problem that is coming from the controller and accountant. See, they have programmed everything that you find on the payroll. And so sometimes, I don't know whether they get confused because we have different sets of provident fund. Provident fund that belongs to only foreign. In CSR, all other institutes will have one provident fund which is at the head of it. Foreign has its own provident fund, so they don't contribute. I mean, there's a history to that, I mean, where they came from back and forth, so they don't belong there. And so sometimes they mix the deduction to the head office, the general one, with yours. And so when it comes, those things we cannot do at the IDBD at head office. Those things are done at the controller. And so we, as soon as you let us know, we send it to them. But I don't want to talk for them, but I know they are overwhelmed. So sometimes it takes time, but we'll still go ahead and work on it so that when it happens. But what I know is that as soon as we receive the deduction that has come to Provident Fund at the head office, we refund. But if they change, we will refund and it still happens. So we will work on that and get it done. Reduction of Provident Fund from 15 to 10%. I'm not aware of a letter that said that. I don't know if it is in relation to. Come again. I'm not sure of that. I don't know if it is in relation to the Senate Provident issue. So if you can give me some more information on that. Because even that, you see, it is also programmed in the system that everybody who is a senior staff and above, the system deducts 15. When we joined, we migrated to the IPP. In order to make it easier for them, for the controller group, we informed them that mostly senior staff upwards, they do 15% and the junior staff do 10%. The challenge of controller is that they don't want a situation where individuals will have different ones. It means that every time they have to go into the system and check. If you have 2,000 people and one says I want 5%, the other says I want 2%, it makes it difficult. So when you deal with them, that's what they tell you, so that they will program it once. Okay, but I don't know. We'll also talk to them to see how. So we talk. They said we have to create a different line so that if Mr. A wants to do more than what is already there, they can move to that place. And so we'll see how best that is done. So it is not deliberate yet. I mean, it's difficult working with the controller. Almost every month we have problems. If it is not Institute A, it's from Institute B, but we continue to push to get this done.
Oh, that one I will answer. Agra, why is there no signboard? That one is not the he and the director of administration. So why is there no signboard? I'm asking you.
Well, we'll look at that. I mean, yes, it's true. I mean, you see a lot of CSR, but not CSR head office there. You see other institutions. So we'll look at it once we have called our attention to that.
And in fact, we had wanted to solve it by, in CSIR, there's a major head office. There's, there are two parts of the head office. There's no problem here because you need to have two entrances in terms of security. Head office, there's only one entrance. That is a major challenge. Where we wanted the second entrance was when Lands Commission have given 2 hectares to a Chinese. Someone who was renting our land, then they gave, without our knowledge, the landlord then became, the tenant then became the landlord. How it's done, and we said no. So there is also we tried to have a second one at the main one, Kaukudi, but that one has its own. There's a creek and also the road, main road diverted, and now they have pylons. So there are challenges. We have to get a second exit in terms of security. Otherwise, if there is something happens, so please. Those are it's not an excuse, but they have to get it done. But I'm only saying what has to be done. Now, principal technical technologies. Please, we have indicated that the technologies it's unfortunate that I have still not been able to do that. When I became DG, I said we're doing away with the technologies. Great. That is why there was an assistant research scientist, and those who were there were BScs. They have been there for 10 years, 15 years. So most of you would know that one of the very first reforms, I did a lot of reforms, was to move people who had BSc and who were collecting 1.14. In the universities, you are not, if you are in the BSc, you are not part of the senior members. So why is it that in CSI? So they moved. And then we moved the principal technologies there for a temporary thing, because we had wanted to move the principal technologies, those with masters, to assistant research scientists. But that is where we had the challenge, because the administrators came in, and you know why they broke away from CAD? They used to be members of RSA, and they formed their own association because they said in migrating, we did not take their interest. So if you are an administrator, they are one step below research scientists, and also they collect 0.6, and we have 1.14. So they said that if principal technologists, the qualification of principal technologists is a master's, and you are putting them onto the grade of assistant research, and in the case of administrators and accountants, accountants, you need to have your masters and you need to charter. For administrators, you need to have your masters and also have a professional qualification. So they are saying that they have 2 qualifications, and you are putting them at a salary level which is almost 50% lower than someone who has a master's. If we have put the technology. So what we were saying, and I asked them that please sue CSIR at the Labour Commission. I have a background in law. Sue us like the universities did. The universities when they came out, the administrators had 0.6. They sued the university and the Labour. They listened to them and restored them. So I said that, please, sue us at Labour Commission. We will go to Labour Commission, and that's the lawyer represents us. And we said we don't have any objection. So it is now between Labour Commission and Fair Wages for them to accept. And we have said that the day that Fair Wages resource
The guy who came to do
this
this
thing, we put all principal technologies to the assistant research and abolish the principal technologies bill. It's of no, sorry, as of now, of no significance. You either are in administration, or you are in research. There is no reason for a preparatory, principal technologies is not a preparatory grade. You have masters before you get a PhD, go and pull for some time before you move. It doesn't make sense. I hope you understand. So that is why we are in court. The day it is, but until it is resolved, please, we cannot create inequity in the system. I hope you understand. I cannot be seen to be favoring researchers against administrators. A house divided against itself will not stand. We all have to do together. Please, I hope you understand. So let us understand the administrators. Because if we don't understand them and we say we are moving, and I know a lot of people have left the university, because we put them on principal technologies. We understand, but we cannot favor that. I hope that's my principle. I may be wrong, but I believe that cater for the interest of the little person in your organization and move together than to have one grade having a problem. And Fair Wages, it nearly cost us. Because we put principal technologies, some technical officers, and 0.6. Some people don't even go to Fair Wages. So please, whenever there is inequity in the system, you are bound to have problems. Salary levels, it gives emotion. Engenders a lot of passion. And we want to avoid that. So let us understand. The last one is, what's it? I said, you said responsibility to groom someone. Yes, we have a succession plan. But unfortunately, in CSIR and in the universities, whenever any management position becomes vacant, is advertised. Anybody can become director general. Anybody can become director. But we always make it as one of the points. That is why when we have a search party, the search party will meet RSA executive and ask them, what is the quality or the criteria that we should use? It is for RSA to tell them that we don't want anybody from outside. But as for me, I cannot do that. I hope you understand. It is for RSA executive in meeting them say, you cannot choose a person. But what you do is that you see the characteristics of a person you like. And then tell them that the person should be short like me. Should be quiet like me. You say, yeah. So please, we do not, as for the DG, one of the challenges is that if you're a DG and you seem to support one person, it's a recipe for disaster. I hope you understand. Imagine, and that has happened in a number of the universities. I know I can give you several. They say the DG supports, the Vice Chancellor supports one. He doesn't get it, another person gets it, and the whole university is divided into two, 4 and a days. So please, as for CSIR, we support them. And I can assure you that, as of now, 3 people have applied, but I don't know. Why? Because there is no council, there's no search party. If I open it, someone can sue us. There's no CSI, there's no search party. So how did you proceed? I hope you understand. So I have kept it intact till council is, and council gives the search party, puts in place, and I'll handle all the unopened to them. And they will then have to open. I hope you understand. Yes, so let us have it. So as of now, I don't know. A lot of people think I know. In fact, they are in my safe. Locked up. But I don't know. It is intact. Right. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Very well.
And it's not Director General.
What does that matter to you? So, thanks so much for the response. I understand that very well. My follow-up is that it's been quite some time since we had this. How, or what advice would you give, apart from we sitting and waiting?
Hello. There is nothing I can do. There is nothing you can do. Even with the minister, we discussed it. There's nothing the minister can do than wait for the search, first the council, and the search what? Committee. The principal technologist. Oh. Go and do your PhD. And move to later. That is the advice. But in terms of the this thing, you know, please, even though there is one position as director for this, please, everybody, immediately you are employed, please have it in mind that unless you don't want it, but don't say you don't want it, have it in mind that if it is 5 years, within 5 years, whatever it takes, I'll be promoted. Within this, I'll be promoted. It's an advice I am giving to you. There was someone who in 20 years had a lot of promotion and said he didn't want to be promoted because he felt that when he was promoted, he became CSIR. We call someone 10 years. I hope you understand. There have been 2 people who have had excellent this thing, never put in their promotion when we call them. Please, that is criminal. Hello? Hi. So I am encouraging all of you, especially the young people. You know, if you want to, one person wants to be director, another person wants to be director, it engenders competition and the institute rises. I hope you understand. So please, let us have it. And if you don't want it, then you have to leave the system. Hello? Hi. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So please, let's take questions. Thank you.
And the ladies.
Thank you very much, DG and his team and everybody. First, I would also like to give a word of appreciation to DG.
You see, Sari, I should have been DG of Sari.
Yes, we will always love and cherish you, as well as your memory. And also to appreciate God for his favor upon DG throughout his tenure. And we are continuously praying to God to let him exit peacefully and grant you family peace. Thank you.
Amen.
Yes, thank you. You might be lifetime, but it's important I say how DG has tolerated my questions over the years. Unfortunately, in this room, somebody couldn't tolerate me just for one day. Thank you. DG, My little concern is over the, I don't know whether it's over or on, the research grants that DDG has been very passionate about. The understanding is that the call was made for research scientists, not necessarily, yes, for research. I want to make a passionate appeal to you and DDG. I took it informally with DDG the last time we both at SAC, that your policy has made a lot of people to go to school to do their PhD, their master's in research. If you could please extend part of that grant to support them for their project work or any financial constraints that they might also be facing. Those of us who have been here for long, head office used to assist, but for some time now it has not been happening. Unfortunately, we'll be made to understand that there is some money. So, for the sake of equity, as DG talked about, I would appreciate that you look into this. It's a passionate appeal. Last but not the least, we want to plead. You have many legacies, DG, God willing, as part of the legacy that we will cherish, the issue of principal technologies. If you could take it as soon as possible from now to your exit, how you could please work on it. And I know you are always inspired by God. Once you are inspired, you come out with new ideas. And with the help of your team, we could make a way ahead. Thank you.
I'm a technologist. And then at the point I came into the CSI now. When I came into the CSI, I was asleep. Then at the point we were told that we would be migrated to supervision. Then first when I came, I was on the sleep. And then they put me on the Providence Fund, which was okay, considering the amount they were deducting from sleep and then the Providence. Then at the point, they then put on the supervision. It became a challenge because the amount involved with the supervision was relatively high. At one of the meetings here, the technologists particularly raised that concern. Then DG said that the Provident is not compulsory, but then for the supervision we have to do it. Some of my colleagues later withdrew from the Provident. Later I also wrote to her because now I am on the supervision. I wanted to withdraw from the Provident. But when I got there, they told me no. So now I don't know whether these things they are official or we are just told to be comforted at a given meeting and then later they are not implemented. Because it's a red and it's paying for the supervision and then the Provident has the technology. Thank you very much. Any other
Thank you very much. My name is Sylvia. My question is also about the promotion of the principal technology. So as of now, they have an idea what the conditions are, the number of students, especially. But like the research scientists haven't put know what format to use to do their application for promotion? Is there a form for them to use? And where can they get access to it? Then about the call for grant, I remember I also applied for it with a team, but it passed the deadline given the time for the second call, and we still haven't received a response, not even an email. Then finally, how long does promotion really take? Because I remember I put an application for my promotion somewhere November 2019. And up to now, I'm still waiting. So what is happening?
Researcher or what?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Please, those on Zoom, we still have opportunity for you to ask questions.
Thank you. My name is Edward Mate. DG, I want to find out. I think there was a time where there was a lot of enthusiasm regarding the CSR corporate strategic plan. And I realized that there was a thing that actually came around to introduce the staff to the strategic corporate plan. And also at the institute level, we also have to develop one. I want to find out to what extent have we actually carried out the strategic plan, and is there a mechanism in order to ensure, at the corporate level, to ensure that at the institute level, they are actually carrying it through, whether those committees, which I think the corporate strategic plan is supposed to be headed by the deputy director, so whether they are actually carrying it through. Thank you very much.
Thank you, DG. I'm going to address the research grant. You know, it is one of the decisions that DG took concerning the 15% donor-funded component that comes to the head office. You know, we have 50% of the IGF from each institute comes to the head office. I think we just changed it to 6% of gross. Yeah. And then 15% of the donor-funded, whatever you have on the administrative head overhead comes to the head office. So at a point, a decision was taken that 50% of that component would be set aside to fund the research grant as we started it. So the basic issue is that the quantum, the number of grants and everything is limited by availability of funds. This current one, only 3 institutes have submitted or have paid those amounts. So there was a cap on. Sorry. So the clarification, only 3 institutes have consistently been paying that amount. So the amount that was available was around 300,000. So the decision was taken that that is how much money would be given. That's why we limited it to 3 grants. And so when the call was made, you'll be surprised, we had, I think, about 44 proposals. And then it came with its own challenge because we didn't want to spend too much of the money also to go through review and all that. So we shortlisted 27, and then out of the 27, 3 were approved. I have to say that there were far more than 3 that could potentially be funded. Unfortunately, because of the limitation of funds, that is what we have. We have the others there. Hopefully, as more payments are received, we will go ahead and do that. So that is that. But I just pulled out some statistics from my mind. Out of the 3 that were approved, it included about 8 institutes because it's a collaborative grant. So 1 institute, maybe 2 others. One is so a total of 8 institutes are involved. About 20 researchers are taking part. So if we can pay more and continue with this, I'm sure in a short while we'll cover a lot of scientists, a lot of institutes. So that is the position now. Thank you. And then,
hello. I think the question with Provident is why your request for withdrawal has not been met. Let me go with the rules and regulations of the Provident Fund. The Provident Fund, once you join, the rule says you cannot opt out. And so, the first month you are employed, for instance, if you see Provident Fund being deducted, let us know and then we don't do it. But if you stay in for 1 year and you want to withdraw, the rules do not allow us. Okay. So that is why probably we have not been considered. But you were specific with some circumstance that is leading to that. Maybe I will have to send it to the Provident Fund Management Committee to look at that. But I think it was because of the superannuation and that deduction. So I will send that information to the committee to look at that. That those who have been deducted, I think we have been deducted about 40%. Yes. Or something like that. So we'll look at that. I will send it to the committee for us to consider.
Please, there's one thing that please you need to understand. The Provident Fund is a workers' fund. It is not statutory. When I say statutory, there's superannuation. There's a law. It's statutory. If you are a senior member, you will have to contribute to that. I hope you understand. But for Provident Fund, it is staff. So we said that if the whole staff get together and today you say you don't want Provident Fund, nobody, the DG cannot force you. But so long as, that's why I said, we go by the conditions of service. So long as all of you have said that I have Provident Fund, I'll contribute 15%, I cannot opt out. We have to enforce that till everybody comes together and say, we are reviewing the Provident Fund. You know there are rules and regulations. Yes. So that is our position. That until you are all coming to review, we have to go by that. Immediately you start chipping away, you are in for trouble. So please, if we all think that the Provident Fund, the deduction is come together, they are in the rules, there are procedure for changing. What is coming up also is that a lot of institutes and people, they think Provident Fund is free money. Some people are mismanaging other funds, like credit union. You know, all of them, especially the Kumasi base, building, crops, so when people are managing, the managers, a lot of them are here. When they are managing, it is fine. When they leave, you will find out that they would have taken a lot of money. And off the top of my head, building is more than 700,000. Crops is about 400 and something, if they not informed you. That are gone. And these are your monies. And then they tell us and say, deduct it from Provident Fund. You cannot mismanage your credit union, welfare, and others, and say that the person has money in Provident Fund, deduct it. Hello? I have refused that. Because Provident Fund, your rule says that you cannot use it to repay loans from other persons. So let us know and do things correctly, and we don't have any problem. Quickly. Oh, you wanted to?
Yes, I want to The first thing is, someone who said she submitted her promotion in 2019. You should have been asking your director, because every DMC, we report the status of all the applications and directors take notes. So maybe after here you have to find out from your director, and then he or she will let us know what the situation is. Because 2019, we should have at least heard about the status of the application. So that's that. Concerning the promotion for principal technologist, I just checked with the officer in charge. There's a form, and that form is for senior staff and technologists. And that's the form you fill, and you attach your promotion document, the publications and all that. In fact, as I speak now, there's one application for principal technologist chief on my table. It came in this week. So if you get to the point and the assistant research scientist hasn't come, I think you should apply for promotion to go to chief, or if the PAD hasn't come until, so you don't have to just wait and say that I'm waiting for DRO. Please move on and apply for chief, and then when it comes, you can move to the
And one of the things why, this is why we're coming up with the electronic. And Dr. Dampa is not here. He's done an excellent job. Now, is he around? Is he? He has done, and let me say ISTI, but he in particular, but the whole of ISTI, they have designed, and we have not paid them anything. Please, we have to pay them. And those of you who use that, even though this year we were testing, so it's delayed, but the vision with the electronic is that a time will come when we would not even wait for us to have the, we call it sectoral. If it works, the day you put it in, we can get 3 directors, that's what they do, to review, and it can be reviewed online, and it's, everybody clicks, it's accepted. I hope you understand. It then moves on. Here, what delays is that we need to assemble about 10 and then bring the directors, otherwise it's not cost effective. But once we have this online, for me, a time will come when, you know, you don't even wait to the periods, because once you put it online, but your promotion will always be effective a certain date, if the online system works. Hello? So let us support the online. Unfortunately, researchers, then a lot of people will say, I don't like the online, so I'll still submit hard copies. If at this level we cannot fill the online, then what will happen? The last thing is strategic plan. The council's decision, the strategic plan implementation started this year, January this year. So all our reports and everything is strategic. So we'll review and see at institute level what we can do in respect to this. Thank you.
Please, the online promotion, now there's no option for hard copy. You know, we did the hard copy and the online till the end of December. So from 1st January, anybody who is now submitting, there's only one option, that is online.
Thank you. Please, let's take one more round of questions.
No, I am free. If they are tired.
Yes, please, because we have another program.
Oh, all right.
So we will start.
Thank you very much. My name is Nesimi Osani. DG has been talking passionately about knowing the conditions of service. So for some of us who were newly recruited, till now, we don't have anything like that. And I believe ignorance of the law is no excuse. I remember during the Durban when we came for the DMC there,
director of administration said she was going to make it available. So this is just a reminder. We are still waiting. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm making a follow-up. Yes, about talking to my director, I have an idea that recently we've gone to external review. But I don't feel it's kept too long to be at that stage. Then about the grant, I appreciate the initiative and the efforts and the challenges that they have. But I feel when we applied, we had emails. So as if we could have communicated that this is they applied for a small grant. And then they sent an email. We are going to be delaying it. We are sorry for this communication so that we know what is going on. Thank you.
Thank you. Please, there was one initial question related to the extension of the grant to those who want to pursue PhD.
Good evening. My question is to the Director of Finance. Once in a while, I see RetroNet offset on my payslip, and I ask the people at my place, those road research, can you tell me what it is?
Please, any other questions you want to handle this? So 1, 2, 3.
We bought some in the association.
Well, I want to thank DG and the stable directors for how far they have brought CSR. I have a few questions. The first one has to do with our promotion or suggestions. We realize that it's when they first get to external reviewers that is a lot of debate. But I believe that we have a lot of accomplished scientists within CSR that can review our papers, especially from research to senior grade. So especially those who are giving gold on targets. So that those monies that we are paying to external reviewers, we pay to them too, in order to curtail this long delay. You can wait for 2 years, sometimes 3 years, they get only 3 months pay. So I think that I'm suggesting to PGST if we can consider this option. And then my next question goes to the Director of Finance. We want to apply for Provident Fund, and we are supposed to get the money. It takes a long time. And sometimes 1 month and over. Because now, when you apply a loan in the bank, within 24 hours, you get the loan. And so, in this era where there's competition, we have to be up and doing. And then when the loan is, the check is released, it comes to your institute. It has to wait there for some time. I wonder why that happens. Now, when you go to the bank, we are going paperless. So if you apply for a loan, that application has gone through institute already. My director has approved. Why should it come back to my institute again? That thing should just go straight into my account. Yes. And I also want to suggest or say again that if Provident Fund is not for poly, I should work next month. I don't know why.
For now it is compulsory. We decided.
We decided. So we can change our decision. So in our next AGM, we will change our decision. No, not me alone. Yes, all of us, agents. That waiting for 10 years before you can apply to take part. It's becoming a little bit dangerous in court. Because I realize that the rates at which people are dying, it's serious. So for me, I think that it is for our weapon. I'm not enjoying my life. Why should I accrue some money that somebody else is coming to do for me? So I think that workers should be given the chance to take their money as and when they want to take it. And then it will be good for all of us. And then my last one is some time back we came here, it was senior members meeting, and it was decided whether that position should be competitive or it should go as a bonus from a senior person. And a lot of discussion went into it. And so now we don't have anything because the deputy director's office, I always have a problem with it. There's no vehicle allocation, no house allocation. So, in fact, it's really not. The word is not coming. So, if you get a deputy director who is not understanding, you will be frustrating the work of the director. So I think that it's about time we look at the deputy director's office and give them what they really want. Or deserve, what they deserve. Because it's not fair that, you are going through all this ups and downs and you have reached that position and you think that what you deserve, you are not being given. When it happens that way, they will frustrate the work of the directors. So I'm appealing to the management that please, let's try and give what the deputy directors deserve to them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, DG. When you were talking, one of the complaints that surfaced in your listing has to do with the fact that some of our members are leaving for the universities. I think the issue of promotion here at CSR is one of the key issues. You have colleagues that you completed PhD with, even putting you on the right salary scale, delays at CSIR. And apart from that, when it comes to their promotion, sometimes you see some of your colleagues who are at the university, they ask you, have you moved on? And you say, no, I've applied, and so there's no response. And the way they paint the picture, I think you are CSI, you are wasting your time. Some are moved from CSI, they go to university, they say, I've wasted my time being a CSI. So I believe seriously that if this issue of promotion can be fast-tracked in a way, the sister who was mentioned that she applied in 2019, also applied the same year. And I'm surprised that directors are supposed to be updating us on where our promotion has gotten. This information never comes. It never comes. And yet they say, for example, from research to senior research, they need the council. Some say, no, there's no need for council. And the issue is you go to the institute where the administrators and things to have information, they don't have any information. Sometimes one will be forced to go to the head office and as if you are bypassing your institute, your director, and all that. So I think going forward, if this thing can be streamlined, like my sister said, if some of these external assessors at the university can be done away with, so that we look within those who are attend the phone retirement, if they can access our papers for us, it will go a long way to fast track our promotion. Then we can be happy staying around. Thank you so much.
Thank you, the team and all scientists gathered here. It's still about the committee research grant. CSR is the foremost research institution in the country. And then there is this research grant I was looking provided all the opportunities to network to get along with other institutes. There have been interdisciplinary in science between institutes, so it was a great opportunity. Sometimes we travel, people started with a particular appraiser before even they receive the money so that there will be no hindrance. See what they want to do, the community to really accept it. I'm going to suggest this thing must be open again and we must get funding for it. This is a research institute. We must always be research in the competition. A common platform for the scientists. We can go into this GTZ, German government, other foreign aid, so that it is sustainable. And the second is the Standing Bank, is also supporting agriculture. There are so many corporate bodies, the oil companies. Let's write a opportunity proposal, and 650 becomes we generate a pool and then support this particular research grant. I wrote something very beautiful. I was surprised because my name is not. My name is not mentioned, but I'm very passionate about it. So let's write international proposal and seek donor funding so that we become visible. Yes, I become visible. This is the only platform that will become more visible among ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you very
very much. The two issues about promotion and the grant are quite important to all of us. As for the promotion, I can assure you that we do everything we can to make sure that it goes smoothly. 2019, I see it as a bit odd, because if you put in your application in 2019, let me rephrase. If you submitted your application to head office in 2019 and you still haven't heard about it, then that's odd, because by that time we would have gone through we would have long gone through the sectorial, would have long sent you the comments for you to review, and by this time, 2019, it should have come back. So perhaps something went wrong. We need to find out. About the grant, I remember the RSA president suggested those things, and we have been doing it, we've been knocking on doors. But one thing I also want to say, we have the issue of self amongst ourselves. We have a serious issue of self. Once we tend to have our hand on something, then we assume, I call it my first copybook. We don't want anybody to see it. If maybe you get 10,000, pay 15% of that to your institute, and your institute will bring 50%. This is the money that will put together to start from somewhere. The way you are talking, and I would like to see what will happen if you got $100,000 grant right now. Whether you are going to send it to your director, those are the issues. If all the grants that we have in the system, if every scientist will remember and think about other scientists and about other colleagues and pay 15%, and the directors will pay, would it be, having this discussion? So it's a challenge to all of us. Please, when we get a grant, let's remember that we need to create something and sustain it for all of us. So we will do our part, management, but you also have to do your part so that we can all be happy. Thank you.
Now, the promotion, when people say, the good thing is that I used to be a member of the NCTE, National Council for Tertiary Education, and that used to govern all the universities in Ghana, and we used to set standards for all the universities, including CSIR. That's why we were members of the National Council. Now they have changed it. They have put everything together and reduced the number to 11. So they said they wanted only institutions in Ministry of Education, apart from Ministry of Finance. So all public universities are represented by one person, including the technical and only one. All private universities by one person, one representative, and they have moved us. But because of that, I used to know a lot about things. Please, it is not true that our this thing is treated. Even with the current, please, the technical universities, let me give you technical universities who came in. Technical universities, you need to have spent 6 years with 6 publications before you can be promoted. Ours is 5 years and 5 what? No, it's not 10. I mean the journal, referee journal. Referee journal is still 5. If you take Legon, even people who are in school, we are appointing them research scientists. I've been on Legon and other universities. You need to have graduated for 2 years before Legon will appoint you as a lecturer. Otherwise, if you are a newly graduated PhD, Legon is only, you'll be on an assistant 2 years, then you move. Legon is the same. You need your publication should be 36 before you become a full professor. Out of which you should be lead author of 50% of them. Yes. In KUST, until recently, if you had about 5, 6, like we had that lot of this thing, and you are not the lead author, and you run between third and fourth, it was equated to only 1/3 of the listing of the chamber. So please study the other universities. A lot of us do not know, and we say, why were the public, before they became technical universities, the polytechnics, at that time you needed only 2 publications, technical, to go to senior lecture. So you had 6, and you could be an associate professor. And even then they had difficulty. Now when they converted, there were a number of people who were lecturers, they were brought down because they didn't have a PhD. Some were senior research lecturers, they were stepped down. Because they said if you want to collect the same salary, you need to have the same what? So for them, they were promoted, but they said if you don't make up. So all the people who are telling you that, oh, I am senior, if they don't make up to the number of papers that you have, like if you took 2, you have to make up because you cannot get money. And I have, if you want people, you come to me. There are some confidential, but I can show you some people who were professors who are they were dropped down, but to save things, they say, all right, we will let you hang on. You cannot. So please, there is, now it is the same thing like we say, equal salary, equal qualification, equal among the universities. All the technical have. The universities, is only the traditional universities that differ because they had these different things. Hello? So please don't let them confuse you when someone says that I've gone in and I have. Especially if the person is from Lagos, KNUST, UCC, UDS, and they are telling you that they have, and that is different. Because theirs are similar to ours. And in fact, they even, whenever we go for a meeting, they are envious of CSIR. Why? Because they say that we use 70% of our time for research. They use 30%, but it's the same number of papers that we are having. No, that is why when you are, hello, I am telling you that when you are outside, you are looking at another person with a different one. So whenever we go, that is why we have to, and that is why we have to change. Hello, we discussed with the RSA that the reason why we are going to 10 papers, we say we are, it is only just to let people know that for CSIR to move from research to senior, you have 10, we say 10 publications, 10 journals, but in effect we say you still can have the 5, and if you have the others, which is the bold, you still go. Book chapter. They do not accept book chapters and other things as part of what they have given. The universities. You need the journal publication. The rest are extra. So please, don't, a lot of people are looking at the negative. Oh, we say now it's 10 journal papers. We never said it's 10 journal papers. We never said it is 12 journal papers. And your net is here. When we negotiated, it was the same journal papers, but you need to add up. But most people are saying we can't get a book chapter. If you can't get a book chapter, or you can't get an international technical or research edited technical paper, then you have to go for a journal. But if you have the edited technical, if you have a book chapter, if you have the other requirements, nobody is saying bring 10 publications. We have all done that. So please, a lot of people are talking about emotions. Don't. Because we want to move up. Then the promotion criteria. That is why I always say, when we are all agreed on things, we have to. 2, to answer your questions about internal, no university uses internal assessors. They call it inbreeding. Because if I am from a university and you use me, if I do not, whatever happens, they will know that you reviewed the person's paper within the university. I even reviewed someone, University of Winnipeg, and the wife of the person called me. I knew you were in K. I used to speak, I grew up here at university. I also grew up in K University. But my husband said my paper has been with you for a long time, so I'm pleading with you, review. I was so furious. I said I was sending the paper back. Because if the wife is calling you, then can you imagine in CSIR, you have this thing and a wife. And there was one case that a lady also accosted someone, CSIR, because the person reviewed the paper and said they should, the person, the paper is not of quality for the person to be promoted. And somehow the name got to the CSIR, and the person was there when the lady called and started insulting. Yes, that is why we have been particular about people not getting to know who the reviewers are. And so please, as for internal reviewers, it's out. The universities, they have other universities. We are limited because we will have to use people from other universities. So please, for it to be recognized, let us continue. But you know that it's not the external reviewers that always delay. Check this new batch. There are certain times they get to the director, and there's supposed to be an institutional review committee that have to get back to you. There are certain times it takes 2 months for the institutional. It comes back to you, you keep it. Then it comes to sectoral. Then they have to get 10 people. The directors meet, it comes to you. And then you also delay. So by the time it goes to reviewers, there are certain times it's almost a year. And that is also because of us. People will not tell you that. That is why we came up with the electronic. As for the electronic, you do not see it. But at every stage, the date and what everybody has recommended is there. Hello? So at the institute level, what the director and all the listing wrote about you is there. When it comes to sectoral, they will see it. After review, when it comes to the appointment and promotions committee, they will see whatever everybody has written about you. And that is why if it is not favorable and they think you are being, the person is being petty, they will then exclude it from it. That is the essence of the electronic review, because everybody sees everything. But you will not see it. But if you request, we can blank out the name and let you see that. And in fact, that was what I was doing. When, mostly for senior, please, since I came in, over 98% of those going to senior have been promoted. Since I became this. Why? Because we are not really senior. That doesn't mean bring anything. No, senior is a learning. We encourage people. It is only when your paper is extremely bad that we send it back. But when you go to principal, especially chief, I was saying that between 30 to 40% of those going to chief have some challenges. Either it goes to a third reviewer or you have to redo it. And I have the unpleasant duty of always calling, when I go to the institute, I call the people, and I thought I was doing them a favor by giving them the, when I'm going, I blank out the reviewer's comments, and I sit down with them and go through the reviewers with them, and actually advise them on how, because I check on how they can. But the unfortunate thing, there have been about 2 to 3 instances that instead of listening in good faith, the person will tell you, you don't like me. And that's how CSIR, someone says CSIR. And so I realized, I said, I will not do that again. Hello? Because if it is, they take it as an opportunity to insult you. Yes, invariably that's what I see. Because what the directors will not tell me, when the person is angry, you say that, and you have to be fine. It's not every time I am. I respond. Hello? Hi. And I can give you this thing. Because please, let us have it in good faith. The mere fact that you don't get one this time doesn't mean that you will not get it. If I tell you my life experience, it's not that. After BSc, at that time there were a lot of scholarships. I put in scholarship, they gave me DAD, German. I had the scholarship, they took it to Germany, I never had a supervisor. You are saying, hey, everybody went. There were about 12 of us, I could not go. There were several Japanese, Mombusho. A lot of people went on Mombusho. They were technical. So I had to do my master's here. But I had a grant from US to do the master's, and it was 2 years. Very short. I was one of the people who did the master's here at US, 87 to 89. In 2 years, because I had the grant. But that is why I'm saying that if I had moved, and by 1996, I was a senior research scientist. Those of you who are young, do you know that 1996 is how many years? So I've been a senior for the last 25 years. No, I am only telling you this because there are certain times when you start and you are having challenges. I'm using this to advise you because I am sorry, this thing says I'm existing. I'm now saying it's too much. But it is for us to know about it. And there was someone who is passed on, Dr. Blake. He applied about 6 projects, ITTO and others. He was always being refused. But then when he hit the jackpot, for the next 3, everything he did turned to gold. Let me put it that way. Hello? Those of the foreign, yes. And priorities change. So if today you are having projects, please don't envy the people. Your time will come. Huh? That's what they say. Is that not what they say? Your time will, because there are certain times, priorities what? Change. Climate change. And then what we don't do, please, and I've been on a lot of these things, let us be flexible. The mere fact that you are, what is it that you use, an ecologist, doesn't mean that everything you write is on ecology. You will not get these days, have you looked at the proposals that come out? So, I was on the university about 2 projects. CSI, we didn't get it. But when you see the proposals that people have written, please, let us come together. they come together, these days they do not finance one area. You'll be lucky to get one area financed. Hello? Please, I'm encouraging you. There is not too much money there, but the competition is high and you can definitely get money. Hello? Do you want money? My first project, I tell people that my first project, apart from what I got for, was $30,000. And I spent 6 months in the library every day because it was not an area that I knew. It was in London, this thing. It was through USAID and others. I didn't have any, but there was the LAC. Those of you who are in university, Land Administration Research Center, now it's no more. I have to go to their library every day. You say just for 30,000, but it was good money. Thank you very much. I think.
Yes, ritual. Somebody asked about ritual. What is it?
Retro network segment.
Yes, let me explain what ritual. Ritual is simply ritual action. Now, what happens is that in a particular month, when you see the ritual, it means that something that should have happened in the previous month that did not happen is being corrected in that particular month. And so, if you were supposed to get something and there was a mistake in the previous month, when ritual comes, it's supposed to correct what happened. And usually when it corrects, if it is something that is coming to you, money that is coming to you, you will see the ritual and a ritual in respect of tax. So any money that you get, you must be taxed. And so if a correction is paid for even 10 cedis that is coming to add on, you will take tax on the 10 cedis. And so that is what a ritual is meant to correct something in the previous month. So it may be, we don't want to call it a back pay. It is not a back pay, it is a mistake that is being corrected. So it may be a retro in respect of your allowance, it may be a retro in respect of maybe even your basic salary or all kinds of allowances. Okay? And if you are given something that you were not supposed to be given in the previous month and you correct it, it will appear in that month, it means your money will be deducted. Then you will see that the tax part that was deducted when the wrong money was given to you will be added to your salary. So that is a ritual. It is meant to correct what has happened in the previous month on a particular month's payroll. Then, delays in Provident Fund rules. Well, these days, because we have joined or we are on the payroll of Trula, there are a lot of conditions. You must be, what do you call it? Affordability. And there are other documents that you need to bring to add. So if it comes, and you don't have those documents, it will certainly be. I'm not saying there are no delays. There are certainly delays, but some of the delays are not on the or from the Provident Fund unit. Okay? Sometimes it comes, you don't have those documents, we have to write back to the institute. Sometimes also the delays may be at the institute level. If it doesn't get to expect, we have delays. We are trying to change the system. If you, I don't know if you now see, once, as soon as we pay, we send something to you to tell you your money, we have written the check and it is coming. And so that is what it is. Then your suggestion that we should pay the money directly, it may really rather cause delays. One of the reasons is, it means that if 50 people in your institute apply, I have to, 2 people have to sign 50 checks. As opposed to putting all the 50 together, just add the figures and write our check to your institute to give you individual checks. If we will have to do that, there will be 2 of that. How 2 people will have to sign for all. Okay? And the second thing is this. It helps to protect your money. If you make mistake and you pass it to the institute, it is easy, the institute will inform us. If for some reason somebody gets hold of our check, if for some reason, and writes a check to individuals, we will not know. But in this present situation, any check that will write to somebody, the bank will call a check. Okay? But once it goes through our institute, our bankers know our institute, so they are not worried, because once it goes through our institute, they are comfortable, we are comfortable.
What I understood from what she's saying is that instead of writing check, if you approve, send it directly to the bank account by electronic transfer.
We will get there, but for me, I'm concerned. Hello? Let us check Washington. Let us check Washington before your money gets missing and you start checking Hello? Hello? That is what I will say, but you can go, when you go to ATM, and I'm telling you, your aim is not Provident Fund. This is not Provident Fund. You may want your money early, but I'm telling you, there are risks associated with it. That is what I'll tell you. Let us get what we get there. Now, then, as to when you have to take your money, that decision also is taken by you at the Provident Fund. Listen, if you recall, in the past, when I came to CSR, my first place is the head of supervision. Okay? We were not given the chance to withdraw. But as time went on, we introduced that. I mean, through suggestions from, we have introduced something. We introduced something to say that 2 years to your retirement, you can take something. You can take the 25% then. Now, that has changed to say that if you contribute for at least 10 years, you can go for 40%. Then, in addition to that, 2 years to your retirement, you can go for another 40%. Okay? For me, it is better. That would be an advice, but because I can't hold that on if the decision is taken. It's better you take loan from the problem and you can pay. By the time you go, your money is there. Now, if I tell you, people, especially those who are Muslims, that have gone from retirement, from this year, or 2020, that are getting 19,000 after working for 30 years. And they come and tell us that if he had not been the promise, he's getting, working after 90 or 30 years, he's getting 10,000, 19,000 as bulk sum. And that will also take time. What the person had, one particularly from Provident, had about 70,000. Okay? And she had that, and that is what is keeping her going. Okay? Especially those Muslims. So please, now then, when it comes to, we look at all this, when it comes to medical, when somebody is sick, we don't look at whether you have taken your 40% or not. If you can prove that the person is sick, you have a medical result, you bring information, then you are giving what you need, what you can afford, go and take for your medical distance. So, yes, there are good distance, but for me, I'll have that with check.
There are 4 directors here. I'll give you.
He's singing about it.
Hello? Hello? We are almost at the end. But before the directors speak, we have acknowledged the presence of all of them except one, and that is the director of CSIR KRI, and that is Dr. Leo and Son. So the director, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Didi. I want to add my voice to promotion because that is morale booster for people to deliver. What I want to say is every director is very happy when the candidate goes through. So as we go and discuss, we try as much as possible to defend you. But you have to help us also to move the process. Somebody said it delays. Currently, when you upload, you could see where it has moved from your institute and when it moved to the sectorial, so you can track that. Afterwards, yeah, you could from time to time also ask your director because we get updates from DMC and so on. But some of the mistakes that people do is that some people will just upload without letting somebody check. For my institute, I'm proud to say that nobody has failed because I checked the Form 2A and the CV and and give the go ahead for the staff to put the papers together. So after checking, I give you the various advice. Put this one here, remove it, add it, and so on. So this is something that you need to do to help us so that we can help you to move. What I also want to tell you that the process helps us to be internationally competitive. I sent my CV to certain ministers. He kept saying, oh, your CV is very rich, very experienced. It is the way we compile the CV. So if you go through this process of promotion, you put your CV together and so on, then you know that you are bringing a lot of things together. There are a number of people that I keep telling them, you have done A, but have not included. You've done B, you have not included. Go and add. So when you receive such advice, also please do that so that we can all help you. The next one that I want to see on the promotion is the way we compile the photocopy. But now we are no more there. But as you upload, make sure you upload quality documents because sometimes it's very difficult to read. So once you put in documents that are very legible, clear and so on, then the reviewer will also give you a flag because it can annoy somebody that I can't read this, and the reviewer will even be annoyed before they start reviewing. So let us try, take time, and then upload quality documents so that we can apply. Thank you.
Prof. Chair, I think I would like to say something. I welcome Andres to come tomorrow. We are happy to have you here. But before you leave us in February, Prof, our gender policy has not been very much active. I have very little knowledge about it. Our IP policy is not also completed yet. These are very essential documents that we need, especially when we are writing our proposal and all of that. So these are my few words, and I think we are getting tired. So thank you.
Thank you very much. With regards to promotion, what I would say is that I have quite a number of colleagues in the university, especially the University of Ghana. And I can tell you for a fact that in convocations, they always cite CSR promotion criteria as the most transparent. With CSR, you can look at the publications, the other things that is required for you to get promoted, and you can tell yourself that based on what is required in the portfolio, I can get promoted. In the university, it's not that straightforward. I can assure you, if there's something called subjectivity when it comes to promotion, you find that in the university. The other thing I want to comment on is the delays. Let me say that sometimes the delays at the institute level comes from people outside. So I've been in two instances where some members of the promotion space committee, for one reason or the other, chose not to be proactive and to speed up, the screening of a colleague's document. Sometimes we give excuses, oh, I'm busy, oh, I have to travel here, I have to do that. So, I would say that when it comes to, there isn't much we can do if the requisite conditions are not met in terms of the screening. Maybe what I would suggest to DDG is that now that we are online, we should begin to give screeners deadlines for submitting their report. And there should be sanctions if those deadlines are not met. The last thing I would like to say has to do with what is in our conditions of service. You know that there's something called accelerated promotion, but it's not properly defined, and I've never heard RSA talk about it. In the conditions of service, it says that if you have exceptional recent output, but it is not defined what exceptional recent output is. I think you rather be thinking about that so that people who are hardworking and have displayed, exceptional scientific know-how can be motivated, to get promoted through the accelerated promotion, window. As we speak, I don't know of anybody in CSR who has been promoted through that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. DG. In your opening statement, you...
Oh, sorry, this is the acting director for DGRI.
And also the residents In your opening statement, you spoke about what a strong RSA can do. And it's like, as research scientists, we all desire a CSIR. That's what it's strong. And if you look at the unions within the CSIR, it's only the RSA that has a reflection of the CSIR research. All the other unions don't have research in their name. So it means that we are at the core of what the CSIR stands for. So if we desire change, RSA has to drive the change. But usually when it comes to AGMs, we realize that when it comes to filling of positions, people are very reluctant to apply themselves to be leaders. If we don't have quality leaders, there's no way we can affect what the CSR stands for and what it seeks to do. So please, let's apply ourselves. You don't know who is watching. Please, when the opportunity presents itself, let's apply ourselves. It's a free learning platform. I have been a beneficiary of that. The late Dr. Osu Seche, when he was RSA president, took me under his wing, and I never looked back. And it shows in some of the things that we were able to achieve within the CSR. So please, let's take advantage of that. Thank you very much.
No, it's because the director of ARI brought something. It's not, there has been about 5 or 6 people who have applied for accelerated. So it's not as if There is no criteria, but we know what will not qualify. What will not qualify, please? What will not qualify is the number of papers. Don't say it is 10, I have 40, so I will be this thing. No. Because they say that there are certain times someone will have one publication, and the journal and others is about, what's it, the impact factor, which is more than someone's 20 publications. So please, it is not about number of publications. What they have always recommended, because we set up a committee of 3, really people from outside, to look at that. What they have said is that come up with an outstanding, discovery, something, like Allotates constant. In that case, in 1 year you can be promoted, accelerated. It is not number of publications. IP, you have developed an intellectual, something, a chip, a patent, which is really selling. Those are the things that will give you accelerated promotion, not what you do every day. So don't come up with a number of papers. That is what we do for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Please, shall we show appreciation to the Once again, we have enjoyed our session with him. This also being the last AGM with the Director General, we want to tell him again that we really appreciate you. So, Didi, thank you so much. But we are not done yet. We have just one last item briefly left. And to start with that, I want to call Dr. Portia Williams to do that for us. That's it.
Thank you very much. All protocols really are observed. I feel honored to read this citation on behalf of NEXT, Best of CSIR Research Staff Association, in honor of Professor Victor Kwame Ademan, Director General of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research. Through the many contributions to the management of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, you have earned the respect and admiration of members of staff and council, an inspiration to all. Professor Victor Kwame Ademan, by dint of hard work, rose through the ranks to the highest position of the Director General of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research. During his tenure of office, we saw various innovative, explicit changes and improvements of the Council. The care received from you towards the welfare of all staff is overwhelming. Your abilities are dumbfounding and are inspiration to many scientists. Your ability to attract funding for projects and research are impeccable. No wonder you have over 120 publications to your credit. Truly, a humble man deserves exaltation. Your humility is a great lesson learned. Your respect to all, regardless of status, is admirable. Your presence, support, advice, and guidance for the Research Staff Association has been a stepping stone for higher heights for the association, making the association one that stands out. We are very grateful to you, and we are proud of you too, sir. The National Executive Council and the entire membership of the Research Staff Association love and honor you in recognition of your great feats. We wish you good health, prosperity, and many more in your future endeavors. Thank you very much.
Prof. Fori, who assists us during the comments. we also have something small to add to it.
You know, I am overwhelmed. I'm not going to say I am overlord over my wealth. It is indeed a privilege. As I said, I was not expecting this. And I think once you've done this, I'm sure there will be a lot of people who will be pushing to the So once again, please have a seat. Yes. Once again, it's been a privilege serving you because I have served you. And to the best of my ability, I could not have done more. But one thing that I would like to do is to give glory to God. And I said this to the lawyer, please let me say it once you've done this. And that has always dictated. When I became Director General, I said that there's one thing that was on my heart. That was be strong and do not fear. And that has been my this thing. And so you found out that some people will say that there are certain times you are too rigid. It is because I have felt that the change was that I needed to strong. And there's one thing, that if you are Director General and you are not prayerful, there are certain times you will not survive. So I give glory to God, and I just want to thank God for the opportunity to serve you. Thank you. But I'll be coming also around to the Institute to say farewell. So don't let me be there.
Thank you very much. This brings us to the end of the program for today. We are all tired. It's pardon for going a bit late, but we're all enjoying the discussion. For the directors, please, your accommodation, those been accommodated, your accommodation is ready, and also will show you. Please, tomorrow's program we would like to start at 9 because the chairman for the opening session has another appointment at 10. And he has graciously agreed to be with us for 1 hour. So we would like to start on time so that we can also be able to finish on time. And it's interesting that we have many of our directors here with us. So gradually things are improving. Our directors are joining us. We hope that moving forward, they will continue to join. And many of them have mentioned that they are staying with us all 3 days. So we want to thank them very much for that. So that brings us to an end. At this point, I know that Dr. Marie has some housekeeping announcement.
Thank you very much. So after, or when we leave this place, we are going for our supper. The food is ready, it's been waiting. So we just go and then pick our pack. And then tomorrow morning there will be breakfast. Mainly for those who are coming from their homes, not those who are staying in hotels. So you come here, every here for your breakfast before we move to the academy for the program. So tomorrow all the activities are taking place there. But there will be some parallel sessions that will also take to get to the amount. So please come for your breakfast, 8 o'clock. But well, if 8 o'clock is not ready, you definitely have your breakfast. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think on this note, we will just be on our feet as we say the closing prayer. Father, has been a success indeed. We salute you. King of glory, as we leave here, our prayer is that let your presence continue to be with us. We commit the rest of the program for the week into your hands, that you chair and direct, that at the end of it all, it shall be a successful one indeed. That will be in the memories of RSA. Father, help us in all our deliberations, that there shall be a glory unto you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen.
There's a staircase downstairs and you just climb it. Naya, I saw Naya. One will be here. There will be a presentation here, one of the parallel sessions. And 5 in all. One will have, three will the other side. How many? 5. Here and 4 other people. What's it? Here and 4 other people. Here and 4 other people, yeah. So the other one is here. Down here. But we don't know which of them will be happening tomorrow. Maybe for program number. Where we Direction so you can internet is available. What the that's a get one of most of years. We not we get to I'll say I am as a and let them go to sir, if you a 2 hours for now, share what they say you bet me. Come on, not by then. I get person really say. I did it 2 years. We always say, oh, was now, as I was to be pressure. I didn't press it. The banner of the like what I mean,
we go feel closer this one. But I'm not sure they're going to do the polls again. Nah, they're not going to do it again.
So they'll go share ourselves. One is 1 room. Then they do 5 different conferences. Go for Zoom or so 1 is 1 room. So my problem will be how we will get internet.
We go. Then say you take this one router. Then give you internet.
Yeah, they give you
internet. So we go try get some other modems for the rooms.
Okay, guys, well done for today. Now we can improve tomorrow.
Sure.
Well done. At least we did something, but they didn't want to give us a lot of information. Like those things we were uploading and stuff. But in the heat of the action, we can't stop and blame anyone. In the heat of action, like let's get the job done. When we are done, we are a bit more bumpy. But in the heat of action, let's get the job done. You'll be Kasa. But in the heat of the action, we are not agreeing. Thank you very much.
So I will come and Jeff the talk say you will set up me, I'm not going to wait for you. I will set up. But
congratulations, CRTV. You want to go beyond CRO and make it CSIR and bring a proposal for. I'll be gone, but I'm sure they will accept it. And for the and then we can even go for.
satellite.
You still want the this, but we can go for satellite.
Yeah.
And you can have all these. I hope you are keeping the copies of all the programs you are making, so that in case we go, you can be showing them. You record it a day and then you leave it on. That's what they do. But it's doing very well. Okay.
But you will see in this one. Hopefully I will come. You will be when the hotel you there.
Yes,
Guest house. Yes, and we're all coming there. Okay. To go.
It's a trying to voice one, at least the program has gone. The shot said that can but the fear of it now. Challenge is near more the same thing. That we need. It's a camera. You use camera, yeah. Someone from the
Zoom link room. They say we will. Somebody say Zoom link recordings.
Yeah, it's the same.
Can I have it now? Not to keep it.
For travel, for reports.
For reports, you know. But okay, thank you. But I'm going to talk about the instance. Then the Baba can come now. No damn party. But the Baba can come and the Baba can share. I'm back for that. No damn party, but I haven't. Yeah, we can enjoy this.
That's how we stress. It's the same. All we do is that what we do. The same. The woman said we need to have camera shown on Zoom. And the first thing they said, can camera connect directly to Zoom?
That is what I made try to say.
They said no one here, they who said, I don't know you. You get OBS.
On all the machines?
On all the machines as well as Zoom.
But can only a simple
OBS. It's only a
simple so that
it's the same. Connect OBS and connect to Zoom. I'm going to say,
says I don't sign a media.
It's the same, that connection is available.
And that's what I use for this one throughout.
Yes, and I said, yeah, fine. I said, cameras. The connectivity anyway, you know, camera way was fixed to this. I think be a label code. Here, by himself, laptop way, the camera way. No problem. Me, I call other laptops. So, what the full package in there?
Like, yeah, your position is straight to cry. So, you're the Ebeco rooms. Aha. I'm releasing laptops now, mine. Yes.
You now, if you hold that was my Dobana challenge, Baba.
And never book from the set.
Hello. Yeah. Is Jack taking care of your.
Yes, please. Somebody. Our only outstanding problem is the accommodation.
Why?
Yesterday, they gave us one.